All right, crew. What is going on tonight, guys? We got a lot to talk about, a lot to get into. I mean, we seems like there's some big Marvel update every single week, doesn't it? Now we got Kevin Feige sounding off about Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man, and this happened today, people. Like this article was published, I believe today or yesterday. Listen, I wasn't by the computer much yesterday, but they are sounding. Kevin Feige is sounding off now and saying, "Listen, Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man, we want to honor his legacy and not touch or tarnish that." So crazy thing going on there. And we've got a lot to talk about too with that Disney box office. Beyonce, great box office there. What's going on, you guys? What's up, Laser? It's good to see you back, man. Back again. What's up, buddy? Good to have you back, man. Good to have you back. I hope high school's going well for you. Happy December, Novice Cinephile, as you said earlier. Happy Aquaman month. and happy Color Purple month, happy Wonka month, happy WB month, right? Because we got WB all throughout December. I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm not Houdini because was there a new one today? Hold on. I'm not even playing G Kobe. I'm looking because I have had Houdini on repeat. And if you mean to tell me she got another one out today, we about to have another new song on repeat. Oh, okay. It's the extended edition. It's an extended edit of Houdini. I will be all over that, man. I'll be all over that. Laser, you're going to have to get in line, my friend. You're going to have to get in line. But guys, I won't wait too much longer, y'all. Let's get in here. My co-host with the most, my man Loretto. What's going on, man? How are you?
Hello. Oh, good evening. Yes. San Francisco Bay Area, stand up. We are the number one team in the NFC, baby.
Well, lucky y'all. Happy for you, brother. You know what? I'm so happy you guys clipped the Eagles' wings because now they are not the longest streak in the NFL. So the two longest streaks got clipped today, and I'm like, okay, awesome. Fuck it. We went down, so did the Eagles. I'm glad. Happy for you though, for real, because
love to see it.
It seemed like maybe the fan base was a little shaken with the 3 losses, but you guys came right back from that. I mean, what are we? 3 wins now? Yeah. Man.
Oh yeah, and these are big wins too. You know what I mean? These are big wins. So
I mean, Philly. Who did y'all have last week?
The Seahawks.
Oh,
and that was
that's a big game
for the division because they were right up. They were right on our tails.
And y'all knocked them off so hard. Ain't they like 2? I think 2 losses in a row now. I'm like, shit. The 49ers just kind of clipped their asses. Oh man, Packers might be good again. A great day. Yeah, I'm happy for y'all. It came down to the very actual, like the literally Loretto. It was 3rd and goal with 10 seconds left with the Broncos, and Russell Wilson unfortunately just threw a pick. Shit happens, but what can you do?
Yeah, and to be fair, CJ Stroud is balling, man. The Texans they came to play, so.
And they turned things around. So
thank you, Laser. What's up, Laser?
They're a commendable team and excuse me. And they're just listen. I think we underestimated them a little bit, but you know what? Like, we'll be back next week. All right, guys, we are gonna get into our first order of business here. We are getting into our first segment. It is time for Rate Your Hype, and we're going to talk about first and foremost the TED TV series that's coming out now. I will admit, Loretto, I'm not as versed on this as you. So, what all do you know about the TED? What all do you know about the TED TV show?
So what I do know, we're doing some technical back and forth there, but what I do know is that it's a prequel to the films that we've seen, like the original Ted from, what was it, 2016, I want to say? 2016, 2018, something like that. Yeah, so this is a prequel to that film. Mark Wahlberg's character is actually a young boy. I think he's in high school. What was that?
The 2012 Ted?
Oh yeah. So this is like a prequel to that, and it shows Mark Wahlberg's character in high school.
Okay. That's not a bad premise. That's cool. And Ted the Bear.
Wait, did you not watch the? Yeah, because like if you remember from the movie, wait, did you watch the movie? I know you weren't a big fan.
The first one, I haven't seen the second one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so but if you remember from the first one, he got Ted as a child and he wished him to life. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so we see him as a teenager with Ted.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, like, yeah, you know what? I'm glad they didn't do anything like mad weird, like, oh, it's Ted's his grandpa and he caught onto the bear or something. Like, it's a pretty simple premise. So
yeah. Hi, no, and it's also like it's one of those things, like it's set in the 90s, so it's fun. Oh, hello, Mom. Love you, Mom.
Welcome. It's good to have you. What's up, Fatal J? Good to see you, brother. Welcome in. But yeah, man, you're a big fan of the franchise. Sounds like a simple premise. Who's in this? Okay, we got Alana Ubach, not familiar. Obviously, Seth MacFarlane's back. It looks like Scott Grimes as well. Previously named Steve. Okay. And then you've got Max Burkholder, who is the teenage Ted. Not familiar with any of those cast members. But based on the trailer, what do you think, man? Because I thought the trailer looked fun. It looked like it could be funny. It's, what, 6-ish episodes? 7 episodes? Oh, it doesn't say. 8 episodes.
Yeah, well, that's my whole thing, right? Like, there's only like so many things you could do with a little bear, and just the fact that it's Seth MacFarlane voicing the bear gives it a little like extra something. And with Seth MacFarlane comes Seth MacFarlane type humor, which, albeit it may not be for everybody, you know, not everybody loves Family Guy, and I totally get that. But I grew up on Family Guy. I loved the first 2 Ted films. I'm excited. I'm at like a good 8.5. I'll give it an 8.5. I really had a lot of fun with the first 2 Ted films.
I'm on mute.
Are you muted, bro? Okay.
I was you're like slightly behind.
I was tripping. I was like, yo, take my.
Yeah, so the way I feel about Ted, it's like I like the Ted movie. The first one, that's the only one I've seen. It's funny. Seth MacFarlane is hilarious as that little bear. But I kind of didn't finish that movie wanting more. Like, I wasn't like, oh man, I want a franchise. So the TV series has got me a little like feeling like, okay, I guess I'm in for the ride, I guess you could say. So I'm at more of like a 7. Like, it's like, okay, the trailer looks fun. It looks funny. You bring back this character. I have to watch the second one in between, of course, before the show comes out to just kind of catch up and see if there's anything I missed. But yeah, for what it's worth, I liked it. I think Ted's okay, but I'm not begging for more. Oh. Sydney Sweeney's in it?
I was just say, yeah, definitely like the second one. No, I think they're talking about the mom from Euphoria is in Ted.
Gotcha. Still haven't seen Euphoria.
But yeah, if you ever do see the second one, there's 2 scenes in Ted 2 that to this day just got me wrecked. Like, they're just like maybe the whole movie's not great, but there's 2 moments in Ted 2 that are totally worth the watch for sure.
Okay, I'll check it out. Ted 2, 2 good moments. All right, we're gonna move right into House of the Dragon season 2. Shit, man, this looks so good, guys. I mean, listen, I just gotta say, I love Olivia Cook, but I absolutely fucking hate Allison Hightower. I'm just like, every time I see that woman, I'm like, I hope the blacks get you. Well, I read the book, so I won't spoil, but I'm like, okay, I hope you get got, okay? I hope you get got. But yeah, I mean, it just, Visually looks stunning. We're picking up at the events of the first season. You've got that really good cast back. I mean, House of the Dragon season 1 really brought a lot of Game of Thrones faithful back into Game of Thrones, because admittedly, at the 8, I checked out of that franchise for a little while, but it's good to see familiar faces back. Of course, you got Olivia Cook coming back. You got Matt Smith coming back. Her name's Emma Darcy, I want to say. Yeah, Emma Darcy's back as Rhaenyra. I'm wondering, is Millie Alcock, because I will admit this, guys, I have watched pieces of the trailer, but I'm kind of trying to save some stuff. Is Millie Alcock gonna appear at all in a flashback? I'm not actually asking, but I guess rhetorically, I'm I wonder if she'll be coming back or not. It'd be cool to do a flashback or so with her, but man, season 2 is looking like
those younger versions were so good.
They were so good, man. And Millie Alcock 8, bro. Not that Emma Darcy isn't. She's killing it. But Millie Alcock 8. But I mean, I'm slipping her name right now, but I'm sure if Larry was around, he could tell me. But the young black Targaryen woman on the dragon back. I just love seeing black people on dragon back in this show. For freak's sake, Jesus, man, Game of Thrones, black folks was pirates and all this. Man, to see them riding on dragons, walking into royal houses, owning royal houses, being the head of royal houses. I'm listen, we're eating right now. I'm loving Game of Thrones currently where it's at. How you feeling, Low? 1 to 10, House of the Dragon. We're back for season 2. Things look like they're getting hotter. How we feeling?
So I'm pretty new to the franchise. I barely watched Game of Thrones going into last year. But when I did get caught up, yeah, season 8 had some problems, but I get why people were into it. And then House of the Dragon premiered, and I was on board from episode 1. A previous channel I was with, we were reviewing the episodes, and it was fun, but admittedly, there was something missing from House of the Dragon. It was good, and there was some good acting, but there was just some things that didn't click quite as well as the original Game of Thrones show. With that being said, though, I am intrigued by the upcoming conflict. I think, like you said, Olivia Cook, Matt Smith, Rhys Ifan, a really good cast, and it's not their fault that maybe the story they told in the first season wasn't maybe not as compelling to me, or maybe just not as action packed for some, but I look forward to the conflict. I think the trailer looked good, and I'm excited to see how this all comes together. I haven't read the books like you did, so I'm coming in blind, and I love Olivia Cook. So because of Olivia Cook, I'm going to go from a 6.5 to a 7.5. I love Olivia Cook.
So the first season, I totally think what you're saying, it totally adds up, by the way. It does lack action, but I think where it makes up for the action, at least in my opinion, is the politics and the scheming. That's very early Game of Thrones. So I was like, okay, I'm here for this scheming and people sneaking and snuffing behind people's backs. That kind of stuff was okay, that's the core of what Game of Thrones is. 2 people talking in a room, making very big political decisions. I love that first season. I think it was either the penultimate episode or the episode before that. But Patty Considine gave one of the absolute best performances in Game of Thrones in that episode, where he's dragging into the throne room. I mean, he's pretty much lost all but his life, and he's just a shell of his former self physically, and he's fallen to that illness. But that man put on a clinic in that episode. Clinic. I mean, I was like, woo. He did get nominated, he did get nominated for an Emmy based on that. So I'm like, all right, good, because that man put on an absolute clinic. I think for this season,
that man would just not die.
Ready? No, he wasn't dying. I'm like you, though.
Yeah,
I am super excited for
hanging up his bones. He was like limping.
Shit. It's dude, but I am super hyped for the upcoming season because we'll see the conflict between the greens and the blacks actually heat up. We'll see some more. We'll see probably see some more consequences of what's going on here. So I'm super excited to get some more action heavy stuff. Reminiscent, at least a trailer is reminiscent of like season 6 Game of Thrones. So I'm like, okay, this seems like it's gonna pick up. I'm at I'm at a 9 out of 10, baby. I'm at a 9 out of 10. Listen, I'm going to be real with you, Lo. I know you love it. I'm not a big Lord of the Rings guy. I'm not even a big high fantasy guy, but I'm a huge Game of Thrones guy. Like that if somebody told me like you can only have one high fantasy franchise, it'd be Game of Thrones. Because honestly, it's more of a political franchise than it is like high fantasy. Lord of the Rings is way heavier on the fantasy stuff. Game of Thrones, very dialogue heavy, very political. So it's high fantasy, but it's like, oh, I don't know. For me, I love it, man. But yeah, I'm at a 9 out of 10. Baby.
Yeah, no.
I'm hyped.
It's grounded. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It's grounded.
Like,
it's
not dragons and stuff, and but
yeah, but the dragons don't take over the narrative. It's literally kind of more grounded in the people. So yeah, very much to that point.
100%. Guys, let us know House of the Dragon in the comments. Let us know what you think. We are moving on to Fallout, which I actually didn't watch this trailer. I'll be honest, but I did see some screenshots, and it does seem like it's going to be pretty good. I haven't necessarily seen the trailer, so I can't judge fully, but it seems like we're headed in a direction where maybe the next big thing, it's comic book movies right now, but it seems like maybe the next big thing is like kaiju movies or video game movies or both. We're getting a lot of video game media, a lot of video game content. I'm a big fan of the game series. I love Fallout 3. Fell in love with that series, or fell in love with that game and New Vegas and Fallout 4. And I've played that franchise and really like it, but haven't necessarily seen the trailer. Did you check it out, Lo? Oh, okay. That's good to hear, G. Kobe.
I did. As someone that's unfamiliar with the franchise at all, it looks interesting. And I think to your point, maybe we might see a shift in general media going from, not saying superheroes are going to go away, but their focus might be more towards video game and anime properties versus solely leaning on their superhero properties. I think that might be where some companies go, because that does look like the direction with the success of Last of Us, Super Mario Brothers, and all these things. I think Hollywood might start shifting their direction a little bit.
Yeah, it feels like it, man. It feels like it's going to start shifting a little bit more in that direction. So, Laser, to answer your question, essentially the Fallout series takes place after it's an alternate history and a nuclear war happened. And it takes place in, I think it's like a 1950s-esque retro futuristic world. I don't think the actual time is that, but it's got that kind of 1950s thematic, but mixed in with the futuristic element, and people live in vaults underground. So it's this cool, really good gaming franchise. It might be a couple more years for you, but once you can get into mature games, absolutely recommend it. I know, right? G. Kobe's like, and then people will get tired of that.
Yeah,
video game movies like they do with other genres. Oh, all the time, man. Happen with Westerns.
It's a vicious cycle.
Vicious cycle, man. Well, just based on,
but yeah, just like,
oh.
It's so hard to predict when we're gonna do this. But yeah, just because I saw it, Leo. The trailer looked interesting. The production value looked really good. The set pieces, obviously, it's like a post-apocalyptic setting. I don't know any of the actors really. I really don't know anything about the game, so I couldn't say if there was Easter eggs or not. But just based on the trailer, like, it looks intriguing. I don't know if it'll get me to play the games or anything, but I might check it out. So I'm at like a 6, considering I don't. Oh, all right. Well, I'm at a 6. I'll have to wait for Leo's answer for now. Oh, there he is.
Man,
He's
I
back. Right, quick
I have
turnaround.
no idea what happened there, but yes, I kind of hope it does steer people to the games, because the games are like really fun. You're like a vault dweller who gets out of the vaults and goes into the post-nuclear world and explores. It's open world. It's a really good game franchise, and I think 3, New Vegas, and 4, fucking fantastic games. Yeah, and it's like beyond that, I've kind of fallen off. But hopefully we get a Fallout 5 at some point. The main girl was the sister in Arcane, and I recognize Walton Goggins. Okay, yeah, Walton Goggins for sure. That's a great name to be attached.
I did see Walter Goggins. My bad, Colby. My bad.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and Ella Purnell. All right. Cool, we got a good little cast. I'm down. All right, guys. We'll move into the one that was mentioned a little bit earlier. My man Fatal J wanted to come back to his comment. Furiosa, baby. Said that Furiosa comment, or I'm sorry, that said that Furiosa trailer was off the hook. Off the hook, bro. Off the hook. Like, listen, man, Mad Max Fury Road is one of my favorite action movies of all time. And it's like, I walked into that movie with kind of low expectations. I at the time hadn't seen the other Mad Max movies. I was just like, oh, what's this Mad Max thing about? Boy, when I tell y'all I was blown the fuck away, like by Fury Road, whoo, that was a hell of a movie, man. The action was phenomenal. And now you got Anya Taylor-Joy playing a young Furiosa, and we've got Chris Hemsworth in the film as well. And this is, of course, a prequel but it's kind of got that Mad Max saga attached. So it's like, I wonder what they're going to do with the franchise. But let me just give you a brief premise here. As the world falls, young Furiosa is snatched from the green palace of many mothers and into the hands of a biker horde led by the warlord Dementis. While 2 tyrants war for dominance over the Citadel, Furiosa survives many trials as she plots a way back home through the wasteland. Now, Dementis is Chris Hemsworth. So it sounds to me like he's the big bad. But man, oh man, what an action-packed, crazy fun trailer. Just took me back to that Fury Road moment. How you feeling, low man? Listen, I know there's some complaints about the VFX, but I think they're still in post. So I think there's going to be a little improvement there. But what you think?
Don't hate me, guys. So, having never seen the Mel Gibson versions from the 80s, and I don't know what it was. I was under a rock when Fury Road came out. So don't hate me, guys. I haven't seen it yet. Everybody and their mom tells me how great it is. It's one of the greatest action films of all time. Look, I hear you. And because of that, and because of Anya Taylor-Joy, my hype is at an 8. I don't know. I actually didn't watch the trailer because I want to watch the movie first. But I have no idea what's going on. I don't. Yeah, so I'm excited though. Oh, see, lasers throwing tomatoes at me. Deservedly so though. But I was living under a rock when Fury Road came out, so I just missed it. You got a 10 for Colby.
Hey,
I see you.
Man. It happens, bro. Sometimes we miss those ones, but yeah, Colby's at a 10. Furiosa looks good, man. I agree with you, Colby. Jacoby, it's like it kind of looked similar to Mad Max to me, so I wasn't hating on it, but yeah, it's still in post. So, but Lo, come on now, no Fury Road. Come on now, man. That'll be a good watch for you, though. I think you'll love Fury Road. It's 2 hours of just action, man. Basically, it's like a 2-hour crazy chase.
So my whole thing is like, I mean, I know I don't have to, but I kind of want to start from the beginning. That's just how I am. Like, so I'm probably going to watch The Road Warrior and then watch, Mad Max 2, Beyond the Thunderdome, whatever the hell it is. And then I'm going to jump into Fury Road. I kind of want to just see where George Miller started from. So.
Yeah, I hear it, bro. I hear it. Yeah, the Mel Gibson ones aren't bad. They're certainly a good good action efforts. I'll say that. I just think Fury Road is like on another level, but they're still really good. And of course, yeah, start from the beginning for sure.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. But yeah, at some point I'm gonna marathon the whole thing.
Jacoby giving you some more shit. All right,
I know, but thank you, Kobe. I'm gonna get on it.
I gotta ask you, Lo. So this one we was kind of coming on. Seemed like you wasn't as hype for Godzilla X Kong, man. You ain't that hype? Oh no, y'all chased him off. I guess he ain't hype for that Godzilla X Kong after all. Okay, you back? I was like, he ain't
I'm
hype.
just kidding. No, look, I'm just kidding. No, look, it's just that I was just so underwhelmed with the previous entry, but this trailer was exciting. Got some cool things going on. I like the exploration of what's it called, Leo? It has a cool name, like Sub Earth or Under Earth. What is it called?
Kong's planet?
Yeah, it's like underneath the surface, right? Like, I forgot what it's called.
Yeah, shit, the Upside Down. Hollow Earth, I think is what it's called.
There you go. It was something Earth. Laser is hey, settle down, man. He's checking out them furry cheeks. Hey, so
there's only one X.
No,
there,
but all jokes aside, I really appreciate the. So I didn't love Godzilla v Kong, but I did like the world building. So I'm excited to see more of Hollow Earth, and it looks like we have an army of monkeys, which is interesting because I'm Team Monkey. So I hope, I'm not sure if Kong is gonna feel like his loyalty swayed this way or that way, but yeah, we'll see. It looks like a good time. I like some popcorn. I'm like a 6.5.
Man, you and Jacoby, man. Jacoby also at a 6. I'm like, man, listen, like you said, Jacoby, man. I know what this is about. It's big, dumb fun. Listen, I'll go back to Godzilla -1 for like an actual heartfelt story with great characters and Godzilla. This, I'm like, man, whatever. I don't care about none of these people. Millie Bobby Brown, who? Listen, in Godzilla v Kong, I was like, okay. Rebecca Hall. I'm like, all right, yeah, y'all do your little research and whatnot. But man, you over there hating on Godzilla v Kong because you was Team Kong and Kong got that ass beat. But I loved how much of an event film that was, how big an event this looks like. Now they're teaming up. Like, listen, man, Godzilla came up out of the hyperbolic time chamber on that ass and said, listen, I'm here. I'm ready. I'm in my Barbie era. Listen, man, Godzilla is ready to go. The visuals look really, really good. And I'm just hyped that these movies are more about the monsters. Like, it's like, all right, it gives us a lot. Godzilla v Kong gave us a lot of action, a lot about Kong. So I'm like, listen, that's what I'm showing up for too, Jacoby. I'm at a strong 8 out of 10. Obviously, I know there's going to be some daunting human parts that is like, hell, we back down with Brian Tyree Henry and them. But then after we're done with that and we're back to the Godzilla X Kong beating the shit out of that new guy, cool, we back. So I can't wait, man. Godzilla v Kong was fucking awesome. I mean, I will say this about Jacoby's comment about the MonsterVerse. Until Godzilla v Kong, I was like, this bullshit. The second one, very, very boring outside of the battles, and there wasn't a ton of them. So, oh, don't make fun of her little bowl cut. The little bowl cut kind of cute.
I was going to say, I actually like Rebecca Hall, but not in these films. And, I will say, look, in your defense, the money shot was pretty cool where, Godzilla's charging with his purple energy going down his back, and then Kong's got the Infinity Gauntlet or whatever the fuck that was. Kong found the Infinity Stones, so he's about to beat some ass. So that was cool.
Yeah, it was like it's almost like they have to keep giving Kong shit. You notice that? Like Godzilla just natural. That's just his powers. I'm like, they gotta just keep, whether it's an axe, a damn gauntlet. I'm like, they just gotta keep on one up in Kong, don't they? Because he's struggling.
Hey,
I
you
just
know
give him
what?
shit.
Hey, because Godzilla's OP. What are we gonna do, man? He's got the damn heat ray and the nuclear breath and shit. What are we gonna do? He's a walking fucking nuclear weapon.
Wasn't saying that before the movie, were y'all? Team Kong was like, monkey gonna do it, monkey gonna. I'm like, okay, listen, man. I was comfortably over on the Team Godzilla side, like, all right, we're gonna wait and see. We're gonna wait and see. Lo and fucking behold.
Yeah.
But you know what, Lo?
And then Team Monkey, we got our ass kicked.
And I was like, okay, I thought it would look a little more fair than that, but goddamn, he beat him in sea and land. I was like, okay, because the first battle, I was like, okay, you know what? It's sea, it's Godzilla's territory. Totally cool with him winning. Let's get to land. And then in land, he's slamming Kong around, and I'm like, fuck. They gave this man.
He had my boy told up.
Gave Kong a Stormbreaker and he got his ass beat. That's sad, bro. But oh man. Oh, did you hate Skull Island, Lo?
Hey, come on now. That was one of the good ones.
More of a Pacific
I'll take Skull Island over Kingdom of Monsters. Oh, okay.
Over Godzilla King of the Monsters? Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, I would take Skull Island over Kingdom of Monsters, and then Pacific Rim's cool. I mean, that's GDT, so.
Well, yeah, that first Pacific Rim was fire in my opinion, but the second one was kind of like Diet Pacific Rim. The second one. I think there's.
Well, I mean, was GDT even involved with the sequel?
I don't think so.
Right?
Man.
Like he wasn't involved, right? Yeah.
No, it was Stephen DeKnight. Stephen S. DeKnight.
Who?
I'm like, I don't know what the fuck he did. So I guess he was. Listen, he's on a couple episodes of Buffy. He was a writer on Buffy. You know what? He did that fucking Jupiter's Legacy show. That I forgot all about that show. Oh my god!
Jupiter's Legacy. I don't even know what the hell that is.
It was some raggedy little superhero show that Netflix came out with that just went fucking nowhere, man. It's so forgettable. And they had a decent cast. I mean, Josh Duhamel was like the main lead, and I was like, all right, he can pull his own. And then I'm watching the show, and I'm like, what is going on, man? Hey, what's going on, Chainsaw? Good to see you, man. Welcome to the show. Had me on his channel. I think it was last week, man. It was a really good time, bro. Thanks for having me. You got to come chat with us sometime when you're free, man. Sunday nights, 8:00. I'll be in your inbox. I'll let you know. But man, Godzilla X Kong. But you know what, Lo? Okay, so if Godzilla and Kong fight again, do you think Kong has a chance this time?
I mean, if with the damn Infinity Gauntlet, he better do something.
Oh my god. Yeah, he did work on Daredevil. But damn, he didn't know what he was doing with some giant robots. All right, y'all. We're going to move on to the main meat and potatoes of the show. Oh,
even John Boyega couldn't get me to watch that one, man, honestly.
But y'all, we're going to move on to the main meat and potatoes of the show. It's time for the Roundup, baby. We got some good stories this week too, guys. We got get down in the business. There's some box office things to discuss with Beyonce's Renaissance film doing some decent numbers worldwide. I mean, it wasn't quite Taylor Swift's eras, but it did some decent numbers. We've also got what else we got? We got Disney. We got to talk about Disney and what's going on with them. And it's a mess. But yeah, Lo, take it away, man. Let us know about the stories of the week.
Yes, sir. So pardon the delay, you guys. There's like a 3-second delay between me and Leo. But let's kick it off with Queen Beyonce. Renaissance, a film by Beyonce, debuted at #1 in the domestic box office with $21 million. The Hunger Games got bumped down to second with 14.5 mil. Godzilla -1 came in swinging in third place. It's a very limited release coming straight from Japan. A lot of people didn't really know that was a thing, but people are starting to kind of pack this IMAX and come out for Godzilla -1, which is awesome, especially because the budget isn't too crazy compared to some other studios, which we will talk about in the next slide. Trolls Band Together and Wish rounded out the top 5. So overall numbers are super low compared to the Barbenheimer saga that took place over July and August. Numbers down across the board. However, this is just cool for Queen Beyonce, and I think between Beyonce and Taylor Swift, they're definitely setting a precedent for musical artists to come into theaters and present their otherwise unattainable concerts for some to a general audience, which I think is pretty cool. Leo, I feel like you're a pretty big fan of Beyonce, right? I'm not terribly into her stuff,
yeah.
but are you excited for Queen Bee?
Fuck yeah, first off. But I will say it's not even close to the Eras Tour opening. That was like 92 mil, but man, of course. And I'm with you, man. It's opening up it's setting a precedent to maybe I would say let's not do the small acts, but I'm like, okay, acts that can sell out stadiums, that could sell shows out. I think those acts definitely could do these concert movies, and it was actually a fun experience. I went last night with Larry, Chili Boy YT, Chili Boy Productions on YouTube. Went with him last night, man. It was a really good time. It was fun. People were singing along. I mean, it wasn't like the Taylor Swift stuff, y'all. People weren't crowding up around the front of the screen. It was definitely more of like a concert movie experience, and it was a lot of fun, man. A little disappointing that it's that low, but right now it's not like movies are going crazy right now. There's just a lot to watch still. Hunger Games is still in the conversation. Unfortunately, Wish is basically out. Godzilla -1 was out this weekend, so there's a little competition shaking it a little, but I loved it, man. Good movie. Glad to see it hit #1.
So with Wish dropping so low, it kind of begs the question, right? So we kind of move into our next discussion regarding the box office pulse here, and Disney has had one of its worst years ever in 2023. And while box office numbers in general are pretty low, especially this time of year, we're presenting this question to you in the audience. Sound off in the comments, like what exactly is the problem? Me and Leo are going to try to break it down, but just to kind of give you guys some context, we look back at the egregious decision to release Haunted Mansion in July. Flopped. And I can't recall the exact budget number for Haunted Mansion, but they did not make their money back. You go back to, even Wish right now is rapidly dropping out of the top 10 even of the box office. They're probably barely going to break even. The Marvels obviously had a historic drop. In their third week, it wasn't even in the top 5 of the box office. And, they had a couple hits with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and Little Mermaid did okay, compared to Aladdin and Lion King, which got $1 billion. It's a huge disappointment for Disney. I imagine that Little Mermaid didn't get that $1 billion, but also I think, me and Leo have talked about this before. I think we've gotten to a point where, the $1 billion is starting to become unattainable. And for the films that miraculously hit it, sometimes it's just lightning in a bottle. You get your Top Gun Mavericks. People come out for Avatar for whatever reason, whether you love or hate Jim Cameron, people come out for Avatar, but this is lightning in a bottle, guys. We're not going to have, every year we're gonna get $3 or $4 billion pictures. It's just not gonna happen. I think that's where we're at. That's the state of the industry. How about you, Leo? I mean, there's a lot of reasons why Disney is kind of in the hole here, but I think one thing I saw in an article that I was reading was that it's a lot of it's oversaturation. That's a good starting point. Do you think that's part of it?
And that's one of Laser's points too, oversaturation, quality of films not being good. Yeah, there's so many movies coming out. It's just like, yeah, you're gonna get some that miss. Wish is a big miss for Disney, man. That's a big miss for them. I mean, they were pushing. Maybe the marketing wasn't incredible, but they really tried. Also, movies are just not getting any cheaper, man. And when the pandemic dropped and these studios were dropping stuff on streaming day and date, hey, people started figuring out, well, hey, studios are dropping stuff on streaming earlier or even on video on demand. Even that, I mean, yeah, it's a $20 pop for getting, sorry guys, for getting the movie. It's $20, but I could stream it at home with my family. I don't have to pay $5 $20 tickets. And also, very, very good comment here from G. Colby. Word of mouth is not helping Wish at all. Critics didn't like it at all. I loved it, but I'm just one guy, guys, and I ain't nobody big. So I loved Wish, but I just knew this box office collapsing was coming. Audience seemed to be a lot more receptive of Wish. I don't know. The critiques for Wish were kind of weird, but I don't want to take away from anybody's critiquing. But Wish was a good one. It's just you had Indiana Jones flop. The problem with Indiana Jones was, dude, Indiana Jones ain't no MCU hero. Gen Zers don't know Indiana Jones. They're not big into Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones basically toppled off with people with millennials, older millennials and millennials in their early 30s now. It toppled off with us. And I was like, okay, Gen Zers who are filling out movie houses now, they're not going to watch Indiana Jones. So, and there was one other example. Haunted Mansion dropping in July. Big mistake. Marvel's making people feel like they have to watch extra content, plus marketing problems, plus all the other problems going on with that one. And then Wish. It's a nightmare, man. It's bad for Disney. What needs to happen, I think, is they gotta market these things a little better. I think with all of these, marketing has been a big problem. Now that the strike also had to do with this, but now that the strike's over, that'll help. It just, man, it's been rough for Disney, and it's just been, I think, marketing, the strikes, oversaturation, and then streaming have been the top culprits.
In regards to indie as well, it's like the last film came out in 2008. So they're there. Also, a lot of people weren't fond of Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, so there wasn't people clamoring to see him. And why the hell was this movie damn near over $200 million in the budget? Because that's just unrealistic for any film to have that budget. And it's like, oh shoot, they made 400 mil, but they didn't make that much because half of the budget was that. So it's like, I think worldwide indie topped out at almost 500
million. It was 300 million. That budget for that film was 300 million. Indiana Jones.
See, that's what I'm saying. I had to double check. I knew it was close to 300 mil. I wasn't sure where it was at, and that's crazy. Like, you're not gonna make any money off a movie costing that much. I think that's another part of it too. I mean, the Marvels had a pretty inflated budget, so Disney's got to cut back on their costs and just find a way. Look at the creator. Look at what's the budget on Godzilla -1? It was like sub 100.
Not very high. Some people really filled me in about the Godzilla -1 one. I understand that the working conditions in Japan are just not good. So it's kind of like, okay, the VFX look wonderful, but they probably sweatshot the fuck out of them people. The creator, unfortunately, flopped in the box office. So it's kind of like, okay, the budget was so low, but it flopped. Nobody went and saw it.
Wait, so did they not break even? I thought they did.
I don't think so. Let me
Huh.
double check. Uh, okay, yeah, no, it was 104. So you can't say that's a flop,
Yeah, I mean,
Jacoby. It was
yeah, I mean, at least
104.
they honestly, at least they've made their money back. I mean, and that's what I'm saying though. The budget for the creator was 80 mil, so at least they made their money back.
And maybe, I mean, hell, that marketing, you could pretty much double that budget. They might be a little in the hole, but at least production costs, yeah. I wonder. It makes me wonder. It's like, okay, you have like the Barbenheimers, but then you have like the creator, and it just and check this out. So Jacoby actually put a comment a little earlier that said the Marvels, or I'm sorry, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was like their bright spot. And absolutely, that was like their crown jewel. They had another one though, Elemental. And while that one didn't necessarily make bonkers money, I think it made close to 500 million. So while it's not like, oh, the $1 billion, blah, 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 it legged out. I mean, that was like Pixar's lowest opening. Pixar's over. Oh my God, Pixar. You put them straight to Disney Plus, and then it legged out to actually have a decent box office. So
it stayed throughout the summer, which was crazy. Like people kept going, and the number, like, it was in the box office top 5 like every week. Every week that we talked about it, they're just hanging around. Very interesting.
Hanging around. 15 mil for Godzilla -1. This guy's on fire, man. Jacoby be knowing his shit. Yeah, it's 15 million, man. I mean, my thing about these small budgets in these movies, I understand that American studios charge more. There's different in terms of costs and labor. But it makes me look at Godzilla -1. I'm like, okay, what would a $150 million Marvel movie with a great production timeline to give VFX time to cook look like? Oh, TMNT Mutant Mayhem. There you go. There's an example of great working conditions, a studio taking their time with the product, and it came out wonderfully. I'm like, listen, that right there is the example of like, here's what happens when you give VFX workers time to cook. But sorry, I'm totally on a tangent. My bad.
No, you're good, and I think that's part of the conversation. Studios taking care of their people and putting out a product in due time. And I feel like, I mean, maybe some of it's with the actors too, and the budgets get too high. But regardless, I like this comment here too, Colby. He's saying it's not just Disney; it's also Warner Brothers and Paramount taking huge losses, despite Warner having Barbie on its platter. It took a lot of losses as well. So across the board, I don't think there's a good solution for the box office. I think the numbers are going to continue to be what they are up until next year. They might not change. I think the cinema as we know it, maybe this is just the reality, I think, at this point. So it's a sad day, but as one that champions cinema, I will go to the theaters as much as I can, hell or high water. So
you know who's eating this year though? Universal. They are eating because they have the Mario Brothers movie. They have Five Nights at Freddy's. What else? I know I'm missing something. Jacoby, I know you got a couple more, man. I know they this year they've been eating. And let me see. I'm just looking at domestic. Obviously,
didn't they take an L with Fast X though?
No, Fast X made worldwide something like 800 mil.
Really? I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah,
well, good
Fast
for them.
X is actually one of the highest streaming of the year. I'm trying to find worldwide. Let me look at the domestic year. Okay, so yeah, it was Universal, like Super Mario Brothers movie, Fast X. They also had Five Nights at Freddy's. I was like, I blanked. I totally blanked. Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, I was like, dude, Universal, they're doing pretty damn good. Yeah, Lionsgate. Oppenheimer. Yeah, why am I forgetting Oppenheimer? Why did I forget Oppenheimer? Oppenheimer. They're eating, bro. Between Oppenheimer and Mario Brothers
that's
with
huge.
Illumination,
Yeah.
That's Universal.
Yeah, no, they're doing really well. But But again, I mean, look at that lineup though. I mean, minus Fast X, which is obviously their bread and butter franchise. You know, they Oppenheimer is an event picture. You know, they got their family picture. They got what was the first one you listed off?
Mario Brothers
From Universal. Okay, I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Though I feel like Mario Brothers was a little bit of a lightning in a bottle, but also it just hit with the right audience at the right time. So sometimes these things, you know, I didn't see Mario Brothers making a bill. I thought it would do well. I didn't think it was gonna make $1 billion. That came out of nowhere. So you can't predict these things sometimes. So, but yeah, they're doing well.
With Mario being one of the biggest
Crazy.
franchises in the world, I was like, okay, yeah, this is coming for a beat.
Let's move along, y'all. So moving right along to the rest of the roundup, Kevin Feige confirms Robert Downey Jr. will not be returning to the MCU as Tony Stark. This was announced today, right, Leo?
It was.
And I think this is a good thing. If this is truly how Kevin Feige feels and how the MCU will treat the character moving forward, I think this is a good thing. It would definitely cheapen his death and his sacrifice to bring him back for some silly cameo or gag, or even, I mean, as cool as it would be to see him in Secret Wars, by all intents and purposes, the character died in our hearts and in our minds, and it just wouldn't feel right, in my opinion, to have him miraculously come back. So I think this is a good thing. And also, let's be real, guys. A lot of people don't realize how old Robert Downey is. He was around in his 40s when Iron Man first came out, and that was like 14, 15 years ago. He's not getting any younger, guys. As much as I love Harrison Ford, I don't love seeing him limp around as Indiana Jones at 80. So, guys, you know, these actors, man, we got to let them rest and let the characters rest sometimes. That's where I stand. But what do you think about this, Leo?
Yeah, man. I mean, so this came out of Vanity Fair. They did a whole spread about Robert Downey Jr. You know, he just got off of Oppenheimer, and he's up for an Oscar. I mean, well, we don't have the nominations yet, but he's pretty much locked in for supporting actor in terms of a nomination. I think he'll end up winning it. This man is locked into the next phase of his career, and I think it would be ganking the core to pull him back into Iron Man, like especially in like a big capacity. But yeah, Kevin Feige, in the article, it did say that Kevin Feige specifically said, and here's the quote: "We're going to keep that moment and not touch that moment again. We all worked very hard for many years to get to that. And we would never want to magically undo it in any way." Yeah, so that was like the quote from Kevin Feige. And even the Russo brothers said that he was like, even because they had to have him come back and do some additional voice work after they had said goodbye to Iron Man. So he had to come back and re-record the "I am Iron Man" line. But even then, he was apprehensive about coming back. He was already kind of like, well, we said goodbye. I don't know if I want to, but they did that one line and then it's done. Yeah, don't bring him back, man. Like, listen, everybody's like, yeah, they're going to bring a variant in and da-da-da. Yeah, do the Tom Cruise variant thing. That's cool. But yeah, let Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man rest.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because I actually would love to see that. I don't know if he would ever do it, but I would love to see Tom Cruise in that Iron Man suit, man.
Hell yeah,
Maverick
man.
himself.
Even the edits look good.
That would be cool. Colby's here saying the world ain't ready for a Harrison Ford in a mocap suit as Red Hulk in Brave New World at 80. Hey, I mean, I don't know about full body, man, but if they just do his face the way that they did Benedict Cumberbatch, they could do that, you know, and then Harrison's just like,
right, because they ain't gonna be doing no motion with that body moving around.
Oh yeah, he ain't gonna be knocking out, you know, tanks or anything like that. But we'll see.
Just glad to get a facial capture on him.
I was sad. I love Harrison. Don't hear what I'm not saying. I think he's great. But man, the man's 80 years old, guys. I don't know how many more of these franchise action pictures he can do. Speaking of action franchise, staying within the realm of the MCU, Daphne Keane will reportedly reprise her role as X-23 in Deadpool 3. Obviously, I think Logan was generally across the board well received between critics and audiences. It's a beloved character, is a beautiful send off for Logan as we knew him. And man, Daphne Keane was just amazing, especially for a young child actor to stand toe to toe with Hugh Jackman and just really perform as well as she did. I think it's remarkable. It'll be interesting to see her as an adult. She is grown up now because it's been quite some time since Logan. So she has definitely grown up a little bit. And this is exciting. I think the more and more I hear about Deadpool 3, I think, again, I mean, I don't want to be hyperbolic about the matter, but Deadpool 3 will probably resurrect the MCU from whatever funk they're in, because I think Deadpool 3 is going to be a smash. Like, I mean, people are going to come out. People are going to be excited. People are going to dress up again. Like, I feel like this is really going to spark that energy in the fandom where people are just going to have fun with this. And everything I hear about it, from the freaking yellow suit reveal to this, it's been all wonderful. I mean, Colossus is back. I mean, let's go. Let's go. How you feeling, Leah?
I absolutely think you're right. The people are going to come out for this, bro. I think this might be Marvel's next $1 billion earner. Honestly, especially if the word of mouth is really good, if it's a great film. I think we're looking at Marvel's next $1 billion earner here. And you know what's crazy? This is rated R. And it's not impossible to have a rated R $1 billion movie. So I think this could be their next one.
I mean, look at Oppenheimer. Shit, Oppenheimer was right on the cusp right there.
Right on the cusp.
They were at what, 945 mil or something?
Yep. So I think this could easily be their next big project. I definitely think the only like apprehensive thing to this news is like, what exactly is this going to do to Logan, if anything? They said nothing, so I'm assuming nothing, but having her involved, it's like, okay, what are the ramifications, I guess? But you're right, she's older. Maybe it's a variant. Maybe it's another kind of Wolverine variant where it's like, oh, she was Wolverine the whole time in this universe. So, hey, man, let's do it. Bring her back. Glad to see her back, man. I hope that once they do the X-Men, the next saga, and they involve the X-Men, maybe she can be involved. This would be awesome.
So, can we spoil the Marvels? I mean, are people going to get mad at us? Laser, are you going to get mad at us if we spoil the Marvels?
It's still a little fresh. Are you going to talk about that post-credit?
Well, okay. Let's just pretend I didn't say anything. But look, there's a lot of ways we can bring not only X-23, but I feel like even Hugh Jackman himself in the yellow suit could very much be a Wolverine from another dimension or universe, whatever you want to call it. So I'm excited. I just feel like, you know what I mean? Like, Hugh Jackman doesn't have to play Logan from Bryan Singer's movies, from Days of the Future Past. No, I mean, he could just be Wolverine from whatever realm he's from. And same thing with X-23, especially with her being older. She could be from that realm and she's older, and it's just a whole different thing. So I think there's a lot of things they could do here, and I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. So
yeah, it seems like it'd be a good time. And that's a good point. That Hugh Jackman could totally be playing a variant.
all right. So with that being said, let's keep it trucking. Moving right along to the news that speaks to me in my very heart. I love the original film. Tim Burton posts a photo, as you can see here, officially announcing Beetlejuice 2 has wrapped filming. He is on the set of the Afterlife, the Netherworld. I forgot. Well, there's no real definition for it, but he's holding the ticket, waiting for to be seen and figure out what he's going to do with his afterlife. I love it. And then I found this, shouts out to the original creator of this little fan-made poster. Obviously we got Michael Keaton back as the titular character Beetlejuice, just a balls to the wall, bonkers comedic character that's one of Michael Keaton's greatest roles. Jenna Ortega will be playing Winona Ryder's daughter, which I think is incredible casting. She showed her gothic spooky chops with Wednesday, and that same type of energy will be very welcome in a full-length Tim Burton film here in Beetlejuice. We also got Willem Dafoe in the cast, Monica Bellucci. I'm excited, man. I Beetlejuice is one of my favorite films of the 80s, and just in general, it's such a fun, kooky, macabre, gothic comedy that's just, it's a classic. So hopefully Tim Burton keeps that energy going. It has been quite a while. I think the original came out in 88, 89, give or take. So it's been almost 40 years. Hopefully he still got the juice to do this sequel justice, but he is the original creator, and I have faith. You a big Beetlejuice fan, Leo? How hyped are you?
Yeah.
You looking forward to this?
Yeah, the first Beetlejuice is great, classic, and I'm looking forward to this because Tim Burton is who's behind the Wednesday series. So I'm really excited to bring him into this fold and see them work together in this way. Like, I can't wait to see them work together in like a film. Only thing I have about Burton is like, man, the last few projects he's had have been bad. Like, not bad. I can't say bad, but they just haven't been like peak Burton, like Beetlejuice, Batman. Like, they haven't been the peak Burton, and it's unfortunate. It's like, because Dumbo wasn't good. What else did he have in these last few? Miss Peregrine's or whatever. Didn't love that one. Wasn't bad, but I just didn't love it. I really liked Frankenweenie.
Hey, Colby, let me talk to you.
That came out. Uh-oh.
Colby, let me talk to you. Look, I know I'm in the minority, but I will defend Alice in Wonderland to the death of me. I liked Alice in Wonderland.
Alice in Wonderland is decent. I don't know that I'm like head over heels for that one. But it's okay. Sweeney Todd, I liked Sweeney Todd a lot. I didn't really like that Charlie and the Chocolate Factory either. For me, Burton has like some that are just amazing, like Beetlejuice, Batman, and some of his like peak era stuff. I even like his Planet of the Apes, Nightmare Before Christmas. Obviously, I mean, it's just like he's got some big ones, but he's got some misses, and so
you know what it was. I think
background would be good.
I think to an extent, the more he got away from practical effects and the more he discovered what he could do with CG, I think he kind of lost his way a little. Because if you look at most of his later films, they're very CG heavy and kind of lost its spirit a little bit. Especially with, I like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, not as much as the original, but super CG heavy. Alice in Wonderland, super CG heavy. Same thing with Dumbo, and he just kind of lost his artistic fire, so to say. So.
I mean, I mess with that Frankenweenie. I like Frankenweenie. That's a fun little movie.
But
and that's all animated.
That's stop motion. So, you know what I mean? Like, that's a whole different thing. And if anything, stop motion is practical. So I think that's like the kind of world he should stay in. He shouldn't keep trying to do these big CG blockbusters. But I mean, maybe that's what pays the bills or whatever. But
I never watched the Dark Shadows movie either. I was like,
that one was pretty bad. That's probably my least favorite Tim Burton film. I didn't like Dark Shadows.
Ooh, man, old Colby here saying that shit terrible, dog.
Although Johnny Depp did say one of
as Barnabas.
Hey, he did say one of the funnier lines I've heard in some time, but minus that one line, the movie was just not it. It's not it.
Ooh wee. I don't blame y'all. Hell, I that one missed me.
But yeah, we are excited. Hopefully, Beetlejuice 2 delivers. This one's interesting. Will Smith confirms I Am Legend 2 is happening, and he will star alongside Michael B. Jordan, which I think is interesting because when the original announcement for this film came out, I believe a lot of speculation was that Michael B. Jordan would be playing a younger version of Will Smith's character. Like, it might be a prequel to how the world ended and how his character, I believe, was like a scientist, right? He was trying to solve a cure for the vampire zombie things, whatever they were. And I think the original speculation that was Michael B. Jordan was going to be a young version, but I guess there is a script, and Will Smith himself confirmed that he will be starring with Michael B. Jordan, which I think is going to be interesting. And I'll be honest, people can say what they want about, Will Smith right now, but I mean, I've always been a big fan of his. I really, really liked I Am Legend. I thought it was a really good post-apocalyptic, like horror slash, thriller, and I'm intrigued by this. I'm not head over heels over the concept yet. We'll wait for a trailer. But how do you feel about? I think it's kind of cool seeing these two generations of amazing black actors work together, like Michael B. Jordan alongside Will Smith. I think it's a fantastic pairing. But how do you feel about this film? It's kind of an interesting thing to bring them together, right, Leo?
Yeah. What's going on, Kyle? Good to see you. Welcome in. We got Monty pulling up. Low key waiting for the two of them to work together. I'm excited for them to work together, but they went with the alternate ending. I guess. I mean, you can't really go with the ending of the first movie. So I find it like a little odd that it's like, oh yeah, we pulled the ending from the DVD extras. So it's like, oh, okay, well,
right,
okay. But yeah, I Am Legend is a decent film. I mean, yeah, I think it's got its faults, but it's an entertaining watch. I don't necessarily think I needed a sequel because I thought the ending was him going out. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, like I like the brave sacrifice ending more than I like the alternate ending, but that's where we're gonna go. Hancock too, huh?
See, I think that's the whole thing, right? Like, it's such a weird thing to bring them together, especially like a film like this that had a very definitive end. So.
Yeah, going with that alternate ending, I'm like, okay, y'all gonna have to dig out the DVD and get into them special features to watch the actual ending.
You know what's funny? It's gonna be like a streaming series where they show you like previously, and they're gonna show you like the ending of the first film again, and like they're gonna have to show what happened and how he got away or whatever. So,
right? They're like, actually, oh my goodness, man.
You thought this happened. This is what really happened.
Have you read the novel, Lo? I think it's based on who?
I believe it's called The Omega Man, if I'm not mistaken, Kyle Arking. I think it's The Omega Man or The Last Man on Earth, something like that.
Omega Man. I think the movie, that first movie.
So I haven't read it. Yeah, but I mean, they're all stemming from the same story. I think that's what he's getting at, because there was several versions of this story. I think Charlton Heston was one of them, but it's very much the same story. I haven't read it.
No, I haven't read I Am Legend either, but man, I'd really like to. Shit, that might be a little homework assignment I give myself before this comes out.
I was like, Colby, if there is another dog in this movie, I'm gonna be hella mad, because that was one of the most heartbreaking moments in cinema, and he's singing like every little thing could be all right. I was like, no, it's not. No, it's not. Like, please,
dog. I'm like, no,
stop the film.
that was like heart-wrenching, bro. Like,
that was awful. I was like watching it happen. I was like, I think I'm good. I don't want to see the end anymore.
I think I'm good, bro. This is the end for me.
It's like, oh, turning it off. I need to save my heart.
Save me. G. Kobe was asking if Francis Lawrence is directing. I don't think so. Well, I mean, we don't know, but I mean, he just did Hunger, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Goodness, he just did that, so he's still active. Maybe they'll tap him to come back.
Yeah, who knows? And then Kyle's if another dog gets hurt, we're gonna see John Wick in this universe.
Get him on the phone.
He walks in like, you guys need to stop killing these dogs. Something like that. Something cool. But yeah, we'll see. I think this is an interesting project, let's just say the least. And until we get a trailer or anything, I got some hopes for it.
Yeah, and Kyle's pointing out he might be busy with Constantine too, and I know he's attached to BioShock as well. So that man is busy. Francis Lawrence.
Damn. So wait, is Constantine 2 a thing? Huh. Didn't know. But let's keep it trucking, guys. Last bit of news for tonight.
Go.
Michael Waldron, who was the creator of Loki. He also wrote the multiverse, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. He was already tapped to write Secret Wars, but now, in addition to Secret Wars, he also will be writing Avengers: The Kang Dynasty. And this comes fresh off of the news with Destin Daniel Cretton stepping down from directing Kang Dynasty. So obviously, this is a project that the MCU is prioritizing. They are actively trying to make sure this all comes together. And I think, more or less, I think this is a good move. We talked about this yesterday with our good friend Monty, who's on the stream tonight. I mean, here's my thing. I really liked Multiverse of Madness. I think a lot of the reasons why I liked it was mostly Sam Raimi, but Michael Waldron's script for it was fine. And I think his direction overall with bringing Loki to life, I thought was wonderful, especially because Loki arguably has been carrying the MCU on his back for the past year or so. So, Guardians 3 not mentioned, withstanding. So we did talk about this yesterday, Leo, but just remind me and, let everyone else know how you feel about Michael Waldron writing Kang Dynasty.
I'm sorry, that comment just got me a little.
No, I saw you laughing. I didn't even realize. I was like, "What are you giggling about?" Laser said Michael Waldron looks like a pug Superman.
Oh my goodness, man. So it's like I said yesterday, and I actually need to correct myself. The directors of Loki, Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead, they directed most of Loki season 2. I really want to take them and Eric Martin, who wrote most of Loki season 2. He wrote an episode in season 1, which I think was that 4th episode. Take them and just let them run wild with the MCU. Michael Waldron, I think he was writer for the first episode of Loki and then hasn't written since. I think maybe even the 6th episode of the final season the first season with Eric Martin. So I think the two of them did the finale of season 1, and then he did the first episode. I didn't love the first episode. So I would have loved for the duo of Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead and tag team with Eric Martin to just, I'd love for those three to just work on the MCU. like season 2 of Loki was banging, man. Like it was a fire. So I'm like, okay, I did really like Multiverse of Madness, and the more I go back, the more I enjoy it, and I'm not upset with the news of Michael Waldron. I think he's a way better pick than who we had before. So I think we're in a step in the right direction. Mr. Loveness, no offense. I just think this is a little bit of a better choice.
He could take all the offense from me. I was pissed. Peace out, Mr. Loveness. Sorry, I'm sorry. I know. That came off kind of mean, didn't it? I swear I'm nice, guys. Mani's saying she loved Loki, but she does wish that Destin was still attached on. And honestly, Mani, I agree with you in a sense that I was really happy for Destin to get such a big project. And I think he has showed some promise as a director. I know you're a big fan of his short-term 12 with Brie Larson film. But, if he can focus on Shang-Chi too and make that as good as the first film, I think that will be a good, what's it called? Consolation to him stepping down from this project. So I think he still has a bright future ahead of him.
And she says with the thing that Eric Martin hasn't directed / written a Marvel movie. So for him to helm a huge project. Well, let me just give you a little bit of background. He's also done episodes of Breaking Bad. He's done episodes of science fiction. I think he did the Glorious Purpose episode, which is arguably, I think that's the end of Loki season 1. It's arguably the best episode of Loki. So while, yeah, he's primarily TV, you give him writing, and then you let the directors step in and direct. I think that's a team for success. Like MOM, but the
That's
main
very
face is
exciting
People
for
Have
me.
Us.
I didn't know he did that episode. That's why I was whooping down here. I was like, yes. I didn't know he did that episode. That's awesome.
I think I gotta double check that, but because Glorious Purpose is the penultimate. No, that's the last episode of season 2. Yeah, he did that.
Well,
he wrote that. So
that title came up twice. So
it's the first episode and then the last. And Michael Waldron did the first Glorious Purpose, and then Eric Martin did the last one. So it's like, oh, okay.
Hell yeah!
Kinda
See, that's what I'm talking about. That was good. Freaking Richard. Hey, shouts out Richard E. Grant. Richard E. Grant's Loki was freaking awesome. I love that guy.
So good, man. So good. Uh-oh.
All right. And that wraps up the roundup, y'all.
Laser said, let him direct Kang Dynasty.
Yeah, and then we do that, and freaking he's gonna make Dua Lipa Kang.
Well, I'm showing up. I'm down. Listen, I'm pulling up. Okay,
He's gonna have Dua. He's gonna have Dua Lipa with purple face and all the whole getup. Oh man, I don't know.
So Kyle's thinking Sam Raimi will direct Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. Bring on the same team. I wouldn't hate that.
I kind of like that. I think my only thing is, because if you guys don't recall, Sam Raimi said something very interesting about the big Illuminati massacre scene and how much fun he was having with playing with audience expectations and just deliberately murdering them in the fashion that he did. It was very intentional, very tongue-in-cheek. So I'm not saying he can't do a serious ensemble picture, but it's just so interesting that his first opportunity to get a super team together, he just murdered them all. So we'll see. We'll see.
Absolutely hated that, but you know what? We got what we got, and I will say he brought a degree of like a high degree of creativity and uniqueness to the MCU. Something that felt like it stuck out, that just felt unique and felt different. Like Raimi put his stamp on the movie, and I'm like, okay, I love that. I love that he put the Raimi seal on that film. So I'm absolutely showing up, especially if he's attached.
You know, that sequence, this is totally off topic, guys. I'm sorry. But that sequence where he's on the balcony at Rachel McAdams' like wedding and he's like drinking and then he sees the big monster and he swoops down with his cape. I swear to God, like Tobey Maguire could have swung in a frame and I wouldn't have blinked an eye because it just felt
right?
It just felt like we were in that New York. It just felt like that's like Sam Raimi brought us back to that world, the early 2000s New York he gave us, you know, like that was just awesome.
Let's move on to our last one. Go, All right, guys, we got our movies of the week, and this week we're talking Godzilla -1. Just came out, guys, and it actually is the highest grossing Japanese live action film debut in the US. So set a record, and directed by Takashi Yamakaze, who has a lot of experience in Japanese live action film. Dude, that is a sick ass poster. That's tight. Ooh, best movie of the year, Kyle. Okay. Okay, best movie of the year from Kyle. Listen, I got it in my top 10 easily. Easily. No, we're not gonna spoil Monty. It came out a little too or it's out, it's been out not long enough to spoil. So yeah, we'll keep it light. No spoils. But yeah, this movie, man, I mean, I love that this movie really takes us back to that 1954 Godzilla design. And not only that, but also the storytelling and the way Godzilla acts in this film. Now, for a little context, 1954 Godzilla is the first Godzilla movie. And I mean, Godzilla was just a monster, guys. Like, he just comes up out of sea. He is the result, the result of the nuclear war, that the nuclear warfare that happened awakens Godzilla. And so this monster terrorizes Tokyo, and that's what 1954 Godzilla is. They got to figure out how to take this guy out. Basically the same thing here. I love, we're going back to the roots. The design is like a mixture of the 1954 with Shin Godzilla, which is Toho's last Godzilla film, where in that Shin Godzilla movie, Godzilla just looks gross and grotesque and just creepy and scary. And they blended that with the 1954 look to give us this kind of 1954 Godzilla look, but with these spikes that are just crazy and crack up out of his back when he's doing the atomic breath. It's crazy. But visually, this movie's stunning. It gives us a really great, heartfelt human story this time, which is surrounded by bleakness, by the way. I mean, the war happened. There's a lot going on that went on, but we kind of get this found family to follow throughout the film. And the three of them, man, loved the characters, loved the story. There's a kamikaze pilot who essentially, this ain't spoiling, by the way, but a kamikaze pilot who, if you guys know what kamikaze is in World War II, essentially it's flying your plane down and yeah, don't want to get too deep into that. However, he escaped from that and he's reeling with that throughout the film. And then his partner in the movie kind of just miraculously finds him, and she's caring for a child that's not hers, and they find each other through the tragedy. It's a really good movie with a good story on the side of Godzilla. Godzilla's visuals are wonderful. They have him look scaled up so huge. Like, it's like there's these lovely shots where we just get this perspective looking up of Godzilla, where it's just like this, the scale of Godzilla is crazy, bro. Love this movie. The score I've got on repeat. Man, listen, -1 made it into my top 10, bro. So I'm gonna let you start with your thoughts, bro. How'd you feel? Godzilla -1 came out this weekend, and for me personally, bro, I'm like better than the Monsterverse easily.
Oh yeah, and look, guys, don't hear what I'm not saying because I am Team Monkey. But look, whoo, the king has entered the building, you guys. I'm a big fan of the original 1954 film, and -1 is the best film of depicting Godzilla, in my opinion, since then. I've never seen Shin until a couple of nights ago. I did a kaiju double feature. I watched Shin, and then I went right into -1 in glorious IMAX, and man, I was floored. Look, no offense to legendary whatever pictures studios. Look, y'all could never. Okay, America can never, like I don't know what it is. They can't get this right, because the subtlety with which -1 tells its stories revolving around the human characters, like, you really care about these people. And also what Shin and -1, which -1 actually does better than Shin, Godzilla is supposed to be an allegory for nuclear fallout and for anti-war and the horrors of war. And both Shin and -1 very much play into the idea that war isn't the answer. And Japan, no one else can tell that story better than them. And I think that says a lot about both of these films' storytelling, and more so -1, because it's directly set, like, post World War II, which I think is awesome. I think it really gives this film a certain character, where Shin Godzilla was set in a modern time with like modern weaponry and tanks and fighter jets. It was really interesting to see them try to fight Godzilla with 1940s, early 50s technology. I thought that was really interesting. It really added to the drama. And again, I think what this film understands better than most, and what reminds me of like wonderful films like Akira Kurosawa's Seven Samurai, is when you get these characters, you get a ragtag group of characters, when you find the right guys that are just lovable, you got the kid, you got the doc, you got the captain, and you got our protagonist. You get the right group of guys together, man, I'll go to war with them any day. And that's something that you just have to nail when you have a disaster picture or a creature feature with the group of characters you write. And -1 just delivers. The whole cast is amazing. Visually, it's incredible considering the budget was like, what was it, 15 mil we were talking about earlier? I mean, this looks like a $150 million picture. And that says a lot with what they're able to do with it. So shouts out to the entire crew of -1, man. I mean, I haven't really ranked it yet, but this is one of the better experiences I've had all year. It was awesome. Hey, I think we so I went to heaven a couple of weeks ago. I think Leo is in the void somewhere. Um let's see. Kyle saw it in Screen X. How was that? I'm not a crazy fan of the format here. I did see Avatar: The Way of Water in Screen X. Did they have those sections where they would turn the sides of the screen off? Because that was really weird for me. But it's an interesting format with the full, almost 360 view of a film being in your face. Colby's calling out our host here. Yeah, man, he got stuck in a unfavorable position. But yeah, man, guys, go see Godzilla -1. It's awesome film, not just for Godzilla fans, but just anyone that can appreciate good storytelling. It's got a great heart to it, thrilling action, and for such a minuscule budget, amazing visuals. So, there he is. I was like waiting for it.
Yeah, man.
But in the
internet is
meantime, though,
crazy trouble.
yeah, I know we are having tech difficulties once again. You back though?
Yeah, man. Listen, this is like, yeah, the MonsterVerse wishes they could be this in terms of storytelling. Like, I know the MonsterVerse has carved out their lane, and that's where they're going, baby. They're like, listen, we're a big, dumb, fun, stupid, fun, action-packed monster beat 'em up franchise. That's what we are. And Godzilla -1 actually tells a heartfelt story at the center of the tragedy of Godzilla and World War II. So I see them carving out their lanes, and I think the MonsterVerse, and Toho's pleased with the MonsterVerse. They're like, yeah, y'all keep doing your thing. So I think this is great that we get these multiple lanes where it's like, okay, you've got a film with a great story over here, and you've got these beat 'em up movies. And so I really enjoyed the experience. The score is phenomenal, but also the use of sound in this film is fantastic. Godzilla's stomping footprints are chilling and menacing. Not only that, the atomic breath, they do this wonderful sound mixing where they like, okay, I'm going into spoiler territory, so let me back it up. But they really sound design that very well, the atomic breath, and it's just technically very well made. But then yes, you have these wonderful characters that are so easy to latch on to and enjoy. And the main character, his struggle, what he's reeling with, is something that is somewhat unrelatable, but we also know that it's a big, like, it's a big kind of, it's almost like he's like fighting against like, okay, should I have done it? Should I have not? I loved his arc a lot, especially in the end. I'm not going to spoil, but I just love the emphasis on anti-war, on life, living and just the human experience of being, loving life. Like it's crazy how there's this message of like life and love and found family, and then it's like, oh, there's a terror in Godzilla. But yes, Godzilla is an allegory for those things, for anti-war, for nuclear warfare. So I love what they did with these characters, love what they did with the film. Man, top 10, baby. I think it's on my number 8 or something. Fantastic movie. Fantastic.
Hell yeah.
And you know what? I hope we get a sequel. Uh-oh, I think you're muted. Oh my God. Oh man. How do we
check 1 2.
Okay, you back. Oh,
I love the needle drop. Am I back?
Yep, you're back.
Check. Okay, cool. Yeah, so it's interesting because Godzilla himself is like a manifestation of, he's a product of war. And in most incarnations, he's like feeding on radioactive materials, which is what causes him to wreak havoc. And I think that's interesting. What's funny, you're saying how there's 2 separate lanes for Toho and Legendary, and I feel like, so what you're saying is -1's like the Batman, and then we got like Legendary with DCEU and Batman versus Superman and shit like that. Is that what you're saying?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Because they can coexist. No, it's just funny how you were saying how Toho and Legendary have their own lanes. So it's like -1 is the Batman, and then Legendary's like DCEU.
100%.
Batman v Superman, Godzilla v Kong.
I'll even go a little as to say, okay, Toho is like, it's like Blade and Spider-Man. Nah, we won't say that. I'm like, well, it's like Blade and Spider-Man, and then the MCU was like MonsterVerse, really. Like, here I am, y'all.
No, that's giving MonsterVerse too much credit.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's just like Godzilla versus Kong, and X-Kong looks so damn good. They know where they're going, bro. They know what they're doing. They know. They know MonsterVerse is like, you know what? Leave a little storytelling to Toho. We know our lane. We beat people up.
Get back.
Uh-oh. You there? Oh, I think you're muted.
Oh yeah, no, we're good. I'm just chilling.
All right, bro. Yeah, really, really, really great film, though. Loretto, let the people know where they can find you and what's coming up on your platforms, my man.
You guys can follow me on Twitter and Letterboxd at Marcellus Durden. I'm a proud editor and critic and reporter for The Cinema Spot. Follow us on all socials at The Cinema Spot and thecinemasspot.com. Got lots of great reviews. My managing editor, John's doing episode by episode reviews of Rick and Morty, Invincible. He has an exclusive interview with the showrunner of Invincible. I'm currently writing a write-up for my experience at the Fan Expo, and I also have a lot of reviews coming up. Iron Claw, American Fiction. So stay tuned. We got a lot of great content coming for you guys. And right now, we actually have a bunch still on the site right now. Priscilla, Saltburn, Killers of the Flower Moon, all the good. So check us out at cinemaspot.com.
Right on. And guys, y'all can go ahead and check out the main channel, Geekly Goods. We got some goods on the way this week. I took a nice little break, guys. I just needed a little break. After a positive personal life change, I decided to kind of get back into some good routines, good habits, and I'll be back. Just took a little bit of a break on y'all, but come on back to the channel. We got reviews for The Boy and the Heron coming up. We got reviews for American Fiction coming up. We got a review for Wonka. So guys, come on over, see what your boy thought about some of these upcoming movies, because there's some good stuff, y'all. I just saw Poor Things. Woo, we got some good shit around the corner, guys. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments. And as usual, come on back, same time, same place next week. And guys, we'll see y'all next time on Geekly Goods.